What's going on, everybody? It's Delay Brawl here checking in to explain some of the categories, the player categories on DogHoops.com. So we don't have a ranking system for delay of game hoops, but we have a tiered categories where players directly fit into. Some of them are easily identifiable, such as rookies or rooks. Others are static, updated in accordance with their performance over the course of the season. The players aren't ranked in any particular order, but they each have a dog status. So the DOG name is delay of game. That's where it comes from, DOG obviously, but each dog status both represents a player's standing and also has a play on the delay of game brand. Alright, so let's run down the list of all of the categories. We're going to start from the top in the highest standing, which is different breed. Then there's top dog, star underdog, future top dog, hybrid, underdog, salty dog, and rooks. And like I said before, each category has a play on the delay of game brand. That's why you'll see DOG capitalized in each of these, the ones that correspond with that: top dog, star underdog, future top dog, and so on. But let's start with different breed. What is different breed? Different breed is a term that has a few meanings, most notably describe or depict upper echelon of talent in basketball. So it's basically how we define as the top 15 current players in the NBA. And while the delay of game name plays on dogs, both from the logo and obviously the brand name, different breed instead, obviously you see this image, it's more of a mountain lion or a puma. So it's kind of just highlighting more of the nature of a different species when you discuss some of the premier talent. A few examples of guys who are different breed right now: LeBron James, Nikola Jokic, Joel Embiid, Jason Tatum, Luka Doncic, Ja Morant. Just a few, Giannis Antetokounmpo. So just a few guys who are obviously at the top of the game. Now move over to top dog. Top dog's a really cool category. Top dog's usually a star, all-star, always somebody who's known as a go-to talent on their team. Top dog status also features players right outside the different breed threshold, so maybe if they had just dropped out a different breed, then they'll probably be named the top dog. It's really cool also because it directly connects to future top dog, young players who are on track for stardom, and then hybrids as well. A few guys who can be classified as top dogs right now are guys like Jaylen Brown and Darius Garland of the Cavs. Alright, let's go to our next category, star underdog. That's the widest ranging category in DG Hoops. Features anybody from high quality role players to borderline top dogs or go-to guys. So we have guys like, Marcus Smart all the way up to, a player like a Lauri Markkanen who's on the cusp of stardom in Utah. Another way to look at star underdogs is to look at the 2K rating. So it's basically guys rated from around 77 to 84, 85 overall. And they're really just indispensable to your team. Future top dogs, these are all the rising stars in the league. These are guys who are basically on top to becoming a top dog or a go-to guy for their team. And it's pretty cool because it's a predictor of go-to status. So when rookies enter the league, guys like Paolo Banchero, they'll be coined with a future top dog because he comes in with that potential of being a star. So past guys who've had that moniker placed on them: Jason Tatum, Donovan Mitchell, Luka Doncic, Zion Williamson, and Ja Morant. Now hybrid's a really interesting category because it's a combination of two different dog statuses. The major distinction though for every hybrid is they've played at least 10 years in the league, but they're a step or two above the production of a salty dog, which is basically a veteran who's played 10 years in the league. That's a good presence in the locker room, former star, but has a limited role. A hybrid example would be somebody like a Marcus Morris, who's a star underdog and a salty dog, or a Jrue Holiday, somebody who's a top dog and a salty dog, somebody who's a go-to guy but has played at least 10 years. Good old underdogs. Underdogs, this is where the brand name delay game kind of really stems from. This is basically all the players in the league that, they're nowhere near roster fillers. You don't want to trivialize them as that, but a lot of times the hardest works on the team, guys who might be undrafted, guys who graduate into star underdog status, guys who contribute to team success and team chemistry, but underdogs are essential. Salty dogs. Now, you might see the salty dog name and might think this is a slight to any of the players, but a salty dog is basically a veteran who's been there, done that, seen it all. Guys like, at this point, Blake Griffin, Derrick Rose, former stars, who are playing more limited roles. Udonis Haslem's been with the Heat for 20 plus years. And to reach a distinction is a big deal, so definitely want to give them their kudos for reaching the distinction, because playing 10 years in the league is a huge feat. And then last but not least, got the Rooks, rookies. It's the easiest category, obviously, to identify because it's just all the first-year players. But it's also the only status where, you can have two of these associated with you. A first-year player is the only person who can have two statuses associated with them. So that'd be Rook and then future top dog if you fit the billing. A guy like Paolo Banchero is a perfect example. Jabari Smith would be another one from this year's draft. Guys in the past would be Jalen Green, Luka Doncic, like I said, when he entered the league a few years ago. But these players have the distinction of having multiple things associated with their dog status because of their future standing in the NBA. Appreciate you guys checking in and learning more about the player categories on Delay of Game Hoops. The PDF will be available on DOGHoops.com, so you guys can go ahead and check that out as well. Got more content coming, more highlight videos, so keep it locked.